Hello and welcome to the Fat Jack Sports Hour. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, the Fat Jack. The weekend is here. It's divisional championship weekend. Basketball continues to dominate. Football starts out the playoffs undefeated. There's nothing that could be going better. I guess we could win a little more in the UFC if we wanted to. The prop bets have been hit or miss so far, so those are free. Those are extra. We'll get into all that and much, much more as we get you ready for this big, big weekend in the NFL and get you ready to make some money, not only during the remainder of football season, but all year long if you're betting the games on a weekly basis. Go to FatJackSports.com, look at the packages, get signed up, and let's get you ready to win. Let's bring in my co-host from Louisville, Kentucky, Mr. Brandon Rush. Brandon, how are you, buddy?
Very glad that the polar vortex didn't go so far south that we only got like maybe 3 or 4 inches of snow, but we didn't have to shovel out like Buffalo did. So that's a nice thing.
I tell you, it's just mayhem. I mean, pets' heads are falling off at this point, Brandon. We got all sorts of stuff going. I ran for the hills, but it was tough getting here. I mean, I was in Las Vegas, and by the way, go to FatJackSports.com. We're going to talk about everything, but I was in Las Vegas. I taped the TV show on Thursday, and then I told Karen, I said, listen, I don't really want to stay here by myself. Katie had stuff, whatever it is she does out in California. And I certainly wasn't going back to Oklahoma where the high was going to be 1 or 2 degree high. Can't ski, can't bet on sports.
And earthquakes happening again.
Earthquake. Why would I go there? It's literally, I always go back, Brandon. Listen, love Oklahoma, Kings, yes. Queens, love them. But I do go back to the Trail of Tears now and then. When back in the day, and I learned this from that movie. What was the movie that came out about the Indians recently?
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Killers of the Flower Moon. Learned this from that. That back in the day when the powers that be in America were deciding, all right, we're going to take all these Native Americans. We don't want them in our business. We're going to send them someplace in America. So there, you can see all these highbrow racists gather around a table, and they basically say, all right, where you guys have been out there. Where's the one place in the country that nobody wants to go to, nobody wants to live, that we could just fire all these people there and say, this is now your homeland? All right, where is it? And they all sit around and say, well, I went to Wisconsin. It's pretty cold. No, they got lakes up there. They said, all right, well, what about Tennessee? There's a bunch of hillbillies there. And but no. What about West? Well, no, you get West. I mean, how did it pick? But of all the places in the country, this group of racist American founders said, we're going to take these Native Americans, the one place that none of us will ever want to go again, Tahlequah, Oklahoma. Send them there. Send them to Tahlequah, plant a flag, draw the line, and say, every one of you are going there, hope you'd make it. That's what, every once in a while, I do think that's where I decided to raise my family. That's where my mother decided to live. And I just, I love, the problem is that Oklahoma's built around the people.
Right.
That's how they get you. All
yes,
right?
Exactly. 1,000%. Because the weather tries to kill you 75% of the year.
It's the weather stinks. The wind blows. Pollen is the worst in the.
You can't really grow things there.
You can't grow anything. Is a dust bowl at one time? Who has a dust bowl? I mean, what are we doing? But all of these things. But how they get you are the people.
Yep.
The people. They invest in relationships. They have your back. I always tell people ask around the country.
Build communities that you actually kind of want to live in.
Right. And that's the problem. That's the problem is that we live in a total armpit of the world. But I'm sorry it is. I don't care. Listen, I'm not going to be on the Chamber of Commerce anytime soon. You get snow, but no mountains. You can't ski. The wind always blows. You get about 7 days a year that are 75. And listen, West Palm yesterday, it was 80, 81, no wind. San Diego gets 350 days a year of nice weather. If you're looking for weather, Oklahoma is not your spot. Even when it's nice, it's not nice. But how they get you are that the people that live there, including my mother, including my wife, myself a little bit, I guess, but they will get you with how they are. I always tell people say, why do you live there, Jack? Why? I don't have to lock my doors at night if I don't want to. I do lock my doors. So by the way, I have a gun. So if you show, and by the way, I'm one of those people that will shoot you first and ask questions later if you break into my house. Don't even try. I'm that guy. You can't live in Oklahoma and not at some point be like, you know what? Somebody breaks in, I'm going to shoot him in the face. Right. And I am that guy. But the reality is, I always tell people, if I had a car wreck or I just got a flat tire on the side of the road, this having nothing to do with me being the Fat Jack, multiple people would stop and say, can I help you?
Right.
Can I change your tire? Is there anything I can do for you? Can I call your call whatever. People care about people. That's how they get you. But we're talking about the polar vortex and the weather going on in Oklahoma. That place is an armpit. It's
Last place you
horrible
want to
weather.
be is inside of a freezer.
Especially in January. I always tell people I will die whenever it is. I'm turning 54. Hopefully it's not for another 100 years. With the advances in modern medicine and
Right.
my level of income, I figure I can live to 120, 130
You can
pretty
milk
easy.
it for just a little bit more than the average person. Sure.
Me and Ricky Bobby are going to live forever. But even with that, when I die, I almost will guarantee you it will be in Oklahoma in January.
Yeah.
So
I would say the odds are kind of stacked there. Yeah.
If I make it out of January, and the good news, then I get another year. I take another lap
we're parlaying this into another 11 months.
Not dying in July, that's for sure. Definitely not dying in August or September. And
No.
I'll tell you, Brandon, with the way football's gone, and it's not just this year. It's literally we're running these years together. I said this last week and the week before. Playoffs had the highest win percentage of any month last year was January. I think I started out 17-2. People go do the math they want. Go to FatJackSports.com, look at the results tab. You will see that week after week, game after game, we won. Well, as we're sitting here taping this show, and I will tell you, there are games left to be played in Wild Card Weekend, but not many. We have won every game. We're undefeated to start the playoffs again. Not a coincidence. They're not even close. Basketball was 3-1 on Saturday, 2-0 on Sunday. Started out Monday 1-0. We are the last 3 Saturdays we've gone 11-1 in basketball. January has turned into an incredibly profitable month, and it's not just this year. It's last year. It's the year before. About 4 in a row of these not just good months, not just profitable months, very profitable months. So if you're out there, okay, football's about over. I'll wait to the fall. Horrible idea. Costs you more money to wait to the fall. You're going to miss out on 10 to 15 games of profit. And when you sign up long-term for the season packages, you're essentially paying nothing for those plays. Go to FatJackSports.com, get one of those packages, whether it's through this weekend's divisional round games or through the Super Bowl, or better yet, go through, even if you don't play basketball, even if you don't like baseball, you don't care about horse racing profit. I'm always interested in people that say, I don't like basketball. Basketball's not my thing. Do you put a pot, Brandon, when you make money? This last weekend, we went the last 3 Saturdays were 11-1. We're up about 45 games now or so over the last 7 weeks in basketball alone, including winning again this week. When you get that money, do you put a pile of money for football and you say, you know what, I'm going to spend this one way? And then you get your basketball money. I didn't love that. I had to dribble off it. So I'm going to put that in this other pile. Does the money spend different? Am I missing something? Who cares if you like basketball if you're a gambler? Why does that even matter?
I think that's just people's pride getting in the way. And to be honest with you, if you're sending out picks on highlight, I'm in. Like, I know that you've done the work. The numbers are right. And that, yeah, exactly. Now, will I take a little bit extra joy in, like, when I take that money out of the account and then I go do something and I do that? I'm like, hey, you know what? You know why we're doing this? Because we won on basketball. Hey, we won on highlight. We won on midget wrestling. Like, we're going to find a way to spend that money. I don't care where it comes from.
My whole thing is, if you don't like basketball, don't watch it. Why does it matter?
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Do people think that because they're bet on the game, they have to watch that game?
I don't understand that at all. I get it if you're a football fan and you love football. Why? Great. Sign up so you want to win. But who cares what you like or what I like? I'm like you, Brandon. If somebody said, listen, there's 2 fat guys out here, they're going to race 40 yards, and I know which one's going to win. It's 100% lock. You can bet on it. I would bet as much as I could if I knew 100% I was going to win. I don't care what we're betting on. Women's if I had a WNBA angle, Brandon, I'm not a WNBA at all. I'm not to Jim Traber's level, but I'm not a WNBA guy.
Right.
But if there are ping pong is a big thing in parts of the world. If I could figure out a way to make us money at table tennis, I'd bet table tennis. I don't care if it runs overnight.
We had a World Cup package not too long ago. We're probably very close, Jack, to having hockey and soccer added to the service.
We absolutely are. It's funny you should mention that. We're going to talk after the break about some of the advances going on as we speak with the service and with the website and the app and everything that's going on right now, because a lot of exciting things. And it is going to open us up to doing some more stuff, not just because the delivery is going to be easier, more seamless, but We're working on a couple of experts in a couple of different sports that are going to be able to, like you, Jordan Sherwood in UFC, produce profit day after day after day, and it's going to allow us to have more opportunities, whether you're a fan of the sport or not, to make money betting the game. So good idea. Go to FatJackSports.com, get dialed in, get signed up. You can get a free pick there as well. Still debating whether to keep the free picks or not. I had a meeting with the new website people today, and it was all I could do to tell them, yeah, scratch the free picks. But there's that part of me, Brandon, that says there's a ton of losing gamblers out there.
Sure.
That are getting on the internet, they're listening to this show, and they're like, I'm going to get a free, and somehow, some way, there is a bridge. It's not a direct bridge, all right? It's not like crossing over the South Canadian on a bridge, but it is getting on the website to acquire a free play. There is a line that you should be able to draw between that and a guy signing up, which is then going to help him become a winning sports gambler, which is then when I start caring about it when you re-sign up. I'm not interested in you signing up. People say, Jack, why aren't you more of a salesman? Why don't you? But I don't care.
Right. And I think most people would expect that free pick would then turn into, okay, yeah, we got your email address or a phone number so you can get that said pick. And then every other, or not every other, but I'm sure many other businesses would then take that money to use that information to then contact you to say, hey, we've got this, this, and this. And
that's what they do.
You don't, but like, that's not how you operate. I think you operate in a stance of, here's what I do. If you want it, great. If not, go do something else.
Yeah, the only thing you're doing by giving it your email address to us by signing up for the free pick is getting a free pick, A, and then B, getting in a group of people that will get updates on how we're doing and give you opportunities to then sign up for a package. And if you don't want that information, there's a thing right at the bottom that says, I don't want to get this information, unsubscribe, and we'll unsubscribe you. I never call anybody. I don't contact anybody because I only want you to sign up when you're in the right headspace to becoming a winning sports gambler. I am not interested in digging you out from 6 months of bad decisions this weekend. That is not me. And I don't care how much money you have. And I don't care how much money you want to give for this. I have guys all the time will say, Jack, I'm down $30,000 from the year. I've got $20,000 left. Can I pay you something to get me even by Friday or by the week? No, I don't want to go on your ride, on your sinking ship to nowhere that's filled with human feces. No, I don't want to be a part of that. Now, what I will do, get out of the freaking boat, get in this boat. You're now on a booze cruise. You're not on a speedboat to hell. You're on a booze cruise. It's going to take you to a winning promised land, but it's going to take a little time. So slow down, add some discipline, and start winning long-term. Go to FatJackSports.com. Playoff basketball or playoff baseball. Or I'm going to get there eventually.
You know what? Those are coming too. And if you're signed up for the service, you're going to get winners in in March Madness, and then in the NBA Finals, and then the World Series, just for signing up and being a long-term client of the FatJack
and
Sports.
Free horse racing. You're exactly right. But none of that talk about now. What about the NFL? Thoughts from last week? Surprises? What jumped out at you? Where are we on last week's game, Grant?
I'm kind of mad at myself for not seeing it. But the Houston Texans were the team that I thought that the Cleveland Browns and the Los Angeles Rams had the potential to be. They came out all guns blazing in that opener against Cleveland. With a rookie head coach, a rookie quarterback, a bunch of dudes who had never been on that stage to go in and put together that type of performance really kind of caught me by surprise because I knew they're good. Obviously they got this far. They had a home playoff game. You don't do that by being average, but they played a hell of a lot better than I thought they were capable of. And they had one of the highest point totals of the weekend. And that surprised the hell out of me. And
I released Houston to the client. So everybody got Houston. I also got over the total, which was flew over in that game early. Didn't hurt that Joe Flacco decided to start throwing balls to the other team and gave up a couple pick sixes. But I will tell you, Brent, I went on around the country, and we may have talked about it a little bit on the show, but definitely on all the hits last week. I said, don't you at some point in your mind feel like Cleveland's going to Cleveland? I mean, they generally speaking get the minimum out of their teams. Over the last 15 years or so, this has been a Cleveland team that even when things go pretty well, whatever their potential is, they seem to always get the minimum. They draft to get the minimum. They trade to get the minimum. They spend all their money for basically a molester of massage therapists who then gets hurt and doesn't even play. But they had surrounded him with all this defense, and so I felt like the minimum probably was either missing the playoffs by a little bit or getting in and then screwing up. It's hard to bet a bunch of money on that.
Sure.
Feel like they're going to get the minimum and lose a game, but Flacco is everything that happened you could see. That's not the one that jumps out at me though, Brandon. The one that jumps out, because I had Houston and we had over, and it really did go kind of like I thought. I felt like Houston would have success offensively, and that Cleveland was either going to have success offensively because Flacco played like he had been playing, or he was going to turn the ball over, give short fields and or pick sixes, and that was going to get points the other way. That's why everybody got Houston and over. So that ended up going on. The one that frustrates the heck out of me are the Dallas Cowboys.
But again, we talked last week, or in the weeks leading up to the playoffs. When is Dak going to Dak? The Cowboys have a 30-year tradition of just falling flat in big situations. So
not just that,
I'm with you.
I've never seen them and Miami both just played like they were playing not to lose. But Dallas, I had said all week, everybody's been saying for 3 weeks, Dallas is great at home, they're bad on the road. And I kept saying and kept interrupting people, say, that's not exactly true. What Dallas is great against horrible teams, bad against really good teams. And then I would say, and I said this literally 30 times over the last 2 weeks, what is Green Bay? I couldn't get Green Bay to be a good enough team with how young they are to feel like they were going to be able to go into Jerry World and be bad enough to where Dallas, or be good enough to where Dallas would be playing a really good team and look bad. I've been saying that the entire year, that Dak Prescott has been very predictable. He is good against bad teams. He's bad against good teams. But I couldn't put Green Bay in that good team scenario. Jordan Love's obviously getting better. He's better than I give him credit for. This show runs in Green Bay. It runs in Milwaukee. Runs in Madison. And so I'll be the first to admit that I've been wrong on where Jordan Love is. He is absolutely progressing. He's getting better. He's getting better every week. Not overwhelmed by the situation. His lack of accuracy on down the field balls has certainly shored up, tightened up. They look better. He looks better. But I couldn't put him in a world where they were going to go into Jerry World and take advantage of what Dak Prescott has become and what their head coach has become, which are guys that are their bullies. They're bullies in the playground. They beat up on the weak, they beat up on the bad kids, and they roll over and play dead against the good teams. And that was frustrating. And midway through the first quarter, you could see where that game was going. It was going to get ugly in a hurry. The defense, and what's so funny, the defense had been getting worse. I had to acknowledge that in my notes. And I looked at the last two games and said, watch this Dallas Cowboy defense. They're playing deeper on the corner. Quarterbacks had backed off. Big cushions, playing some of OU and a lot of times where they're, it's 3rd and 3 and they've got a 12-yard cushion or 15-yard cushion. And that had been a progression that you look early, the film early in the year, Dallas was playing more man, up tighter. They'd moved back because some guys were injured, because they were given, just because of philosophy. It's the playoffs, don't let anything win deep, whatever. But they had been giving up more yards. We saw it against Detroit, and not just in the last drive. We saw a lot against Detroit. Teams are able to throw the ball and execute a little bit. We're moving the ball in this Cowboy defense the latter part of the season. But they've been so good offensively that it didn't really matter because they were
cover up that and outscore them, yeah.
But that is what's frustrating to me. They had evolved in a negative way defensively. You got the same quarterback who's been doing exactly the same thing over his career, a head coach that can't outcoach people. So you got exactly what you got, what you would expect. I expected it next week, but you got exactly what you thought you'd get out of Dallas. You just got it a week early. Good for Green Bay. They move on. They looked up to the moment, not overwhelmed. I'm excited about what they're going to look like this next week. But yeah, those are just a couple of things. Good news is, guys, if you signed up at FatJackSports.com, you went undefeated last week over the weekend through Sunday in the NFL playoffs. And this weekend we're going to win as well. Dialed into these teams, dialed into the games, and going to make a lot of money. As Brandon said, we've got Super Bowl coming up here in a few weeks. We're going to have a great trip, a celebration of all the great things that have been going on, and we're going to be even deeper into the profit than we are now. Go to FatJackSports.com. You can get the picks for the weekend, either football or combo. You should definitely get the combo. It's like $20 more to add the baskets. Basketball, as I said, 3-1 on Saturday, 2-0 on Sunday. Start out Monday, 1-0. Winning all week. Winning all weekend. These basketball plays are $20 or $30, depending on when you're signing up, to make money betting the games against the spread. Go get signed up at FatJackSports.com. Longer packages save you a ton of money less than about $100 a week to make money, or those preseason rates are up and ready right now to get signed up to turn yourself into a winning sports gambler. Stop guessing. Stop saying, I'll see how the old boy does. I love that one. Makes us maybe a lot more money each year. When people line up week after week, we've not had a bad week since the middle of October, Brandon. That's been a long time. And those, I'll see how he does, $229 a week, $250 a week, whatever it is. They're paying it weekly. They keep moving on, waiting on a bad week, I guess, to say I told you so. It's been week after week after week after week. I make more money that way. It takes you longer to get into profit that way because you have to win more to overcome the service fee. But if you want to pay me money to win you money that way, then be my guest. I'll take more money. I'll encourage you to get a longer package that's about half that price, about $100 a week, and make money consistently. Don't miss any games. Don't miss any days. Get everything emailed to you. You get all those extras thrown in for free, and you'll consistently start building profit betting the games. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a break. Come back. When we get back, we're talking about the Baltimore Ravens. I and most of the people out there that are clients of mine have a futures ticket on them, or multiple futures tickets, at somewhere between 20 and 30 to 1. We're going to talk about the best way to handle that. If you want to bet other teams, we've really kind of missed the boat on the other teams, but you want to bet the other teams, I'll kind of talk about a couple of ways to do that. Some futures talk when we come back from the break, along with getting you signed up to make some money. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Fat Jack Sports Hour.
Hey guys, this is the Fat Jack. Are you finally ready to get a better plan betting the games this year? Let me help. Go to FatJackSports.com, where we understand that it's not the gambling she hates, it's the losing. FatJackSports.com.
Hey, it's Brandon Rush from the Fat Jack Sports Service. If you want to stay in touch with everything related to the Fat Jack, follow us on all the socials: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, you name it. We are there at Fat Jack Sports. You can also watch the Fat Jack Sports Hour on YouTube every weekend. Plus, see funny clips from the show, see Jack's appearances on the nationally syndicated TV show Beat the Odds. Stay connected to the Fat Jack at Fat Jack Sports on all the socials and on YouTube.
Hey, this is the Fat Jack. Another week in the books, and what a great one it was. We start out undefeated in the NFL playoffs, and more are coming this week. Basketball wins again last week, going 7-1 over the weekend. Go to FatJackSports.com. You don't have to believe what I say. Go to our results tab and look for yourself. Everybody gets the same plays, and they are making people money each and every week. The plays are emailed to you, and they'll make you money this week for as low as $149, or add hoops and win at FatJackSports.com, FatJackSports.com.
Welcome back to the Fat Jack Sports Hour, and now here is our host, a man holding it together. He is the Fat Jack.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Fat Jack Sports Hour, segment number 2. Yeah, get to the break, and some guy my son calls from Australia, and then some guy calls and asks 10 questions that he can just read on the website and get, and you're listening to the whole thing. It's hard to listen to, I'm sure. So
it's comedy, mainly because I'm not in the room and I'm not going to have like a remote or something thrown at me. So I at least have that cushion.
This guy had been a client, and he had received the recommended betting guide. New stuff coming, and I'm excited about it, although I'm not sure it's going to do a thing for somebody like that. But the new website is going to be out before the summer, for sure. And it is a total revamp. The user experience should be so much easier. The portal it saves your credit card number if you need it to. It allows you to go in, re-sign up for packages very seamlessly, very easily. A lot of moving parts going on with the new website. And part of that coming up will be an app. And we will have an app out, I'm hoping by football, but hard to say. And that app's going to allow a much more personal experience with the information, not personally with me. But personal with your information, able to get push notifications, able to receive plays that way. Just like when any of you that follow ESPN or any of those types of apps where something happens, you get a notification. Every time a game starts, ESPN tells me the game has started. The football game, it'll pop up, Chargers playing the Chiefs, Chargers -4. Can they get it? Da-da-da. All that kinds. Those are push notifications. Those will come from us to you, to your cell phone when picks are out, when things are released. You'll know. Picks have just been released. Go get your plays. And a lot more interactive for the guy out there that's signing up for the service, which is, again, in turn going to make it easier for you as a customer or client. Also, the app will give more information, why lines are moving, information on the game, some different stories about particular games going off. So a lot more information coming your way in the future. Hopefully, it will allow guys like the guy that just called to not have to deal with me basically saying 97 times, go to the questions tab on the website, which is why we have it. Also, you're going to be able to go on the website, Brandon, and AI will answer your questions as it relates to the service. So you'll have a box, and you'll be able to type in, does Jack place my bets for me? I get that more times than you would think. And it's going to say, hey, idiot, no, Jack can't place your bets any more than he could sell you cocaine because it's illegal in your state. It's not going to happen.
No.
So I don't know that RAI is going to have that much sass, but basically it's going to tell you, no, you have to place your own bets. It'll say, what do I do when my line's 2.5 and his line is 3.5? It will tell you, here's what Jack recommends, blah, 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 blah. So then you can type it in. You don't have to be able to read, which apparently is a problem for some people. You won't have to be able to read the questions tab or the recommended betting guide. You can just type it in. You're saying, well, Jack, I don't know what to type. I don't have any thumbs. What can I do then? Good question. Here's your answer. We're going to put up videos, Brandon, that basically lay out for somebody like Saturday TV Funhouse, Construction Junction, what's your function,
Just a bill on Capitol Hill.
Bill on Capitol Hill. We're going to have videos. You're going to be involved in a lot of these, although you're not a cartoon. I don't know how that's going to work. We're going to have videos, probably get some hot girls to do it. Lindsay may get back in the fold. We may get her in a video.
Nice.
And you'll have videos that you have a question. You're like, okay, winner picks released. And you don't want to read the recommended betting guide. You don't want to be able to punch into the AI chat room. You can just click on the video that has some hot girl standing there telling you when the picks are released. I'm going to make it easy as I possibly can for guys to make money betting on sports, Brandon. That's really the goal with this. If people have figured that out, it's not $99 a weekend. I'm betting thousands of dollars on these games. Not $99 a weekend. I want you to get all the information necessary for you to be able to make a decision that's going to help you be a long-term winning sports bettor without calling and asking me stupid questions. That's the goal, and I think we're moving toward that. Instead of me just complaining, it's like me being fat and complaining I can't do push-ups. You either figure out how to do push-ups or quit complaining. So FatJackSports.com, go get signed up today, get in the system, start winning. Baltimore Ravens, Brandon.
I'm glad you pivoted because I was about to ask about the push-ups. We'll touch on that in the third segment. But yes, Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, that's a third segment deal for sure. Baltimore Ravens, anybody that's a follower of the show or certainly a customer or clients of mine, they know that before the season, starting in July, actually I started going on around the country in July, all through August, into September, all the way up until the NFL season started. Everybody would ask me, because I had hit the Rams 3 years ago, I guess now almost 3 years ago, hit the Rams at 18-1. I had given Philadelphia out last year at 20-1. And then when they got to the game, we actually hedged with Kansas City and we played over. So the point is you don't even need these to win. So those are my last two. Rams, Philly. Now, this year, starting in July, everybody asked, Jack, who do you like this year? Who's going to win the Super Bowl? I gave everybody Baltimore. At least, I have 30-1 tickets. I bet $500 tickets, one at a time, different apps all over the internet, and some in-person stuff. But $500 a time. I looked at them for the first time. I hadn't looked at them for the playoffs. I have 2 at 30-1, 2 at 22-1. I have a couple at 18 or 20. I don't have anything below 18, and most of them between 18 and 20-1. I
have 24 and 18.
Perfect. So you got them sometime in August, most likely.
Yep.
Those are August bets. So the point is, everybody out there has these tickets, and if you bet $100, we're going to go off $100, and mine are each of $500. So a lot more.
Okay, we're going to add zeros exponentially to some of the people, including yourself. Yes,
exactly. So a lot of guys, I have a lot of clients played 1,000, and so they're going to make somewhere between 20 and 30,000 if they win. $500, $200, $100, 50, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're going to go off $100. So you have two options here. You can play. You have let's say you have $100 to win $1,800 if you got it at 18-1. $100 to win $1,800. You can play $100 on the money line, and you're going to make more than 2-1 most likely. So you're going to more than double your money, okay? Or what I'm going to do is, let's say I have one $500 ticket. All right. I'm going to play $1,000 on plus the points in the game. There's a number of other ways you can do it, okay? But those are the two staples. So you're either going to bet a money line bet, and what you're doing with that is you're betting, you're getting to bet less to get into profit. Say, because you're betting $100 to win more than $200. You're going to make the money that you bet on the original Baltimore bet plus some profit. But so you're able to bet less money, or you can bet more money. And this isn't a big deal this week, but it will become a bigger issue as you head down the line. The greedy way to do it, though, is what I'm doing, and that is bet the points, and you're really hoping for a cover, but not a win. Then you still have your Baltimore ticket that's still $1,800 to win $1,800, and you've made $100 or $200, let's say.
So instead of just sort of breaking even at an absolute minimum and having just a little bit of profit, you then win your bet and the Ravens futures ticket still alive to roll into next week.
It allows you to bet less up front if you play the money line, but you're sacrificing one of the two bets. Either Pittsburgh's going to win on the money line, or whoever's playing Baltimore will win, or they're going to lose. One of those bets will be dead. The problem becomes when you bet them plus the points, is that you're going to have to bet, if you have a $100 ticket, you're going to need to bet $200 now, all right, to make back the $100, or let's say it doesn't cover and they don't win. You're going to lose $200. So next time, all right, now you're $300 in. You're the original 100 plus the 200. Your next round's bet's going to have to be more. So you got to have a little deeper pockets to be a little bit greedier, which is betting these underdogs, whoever's playing Baltimore, with the opportunity to win both bets. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because it doesn't matter now, but it's going to matter in a couple weeks. If Baltimore beats whoever they're playing this week, and then you've got $200, and now you got to bet $300 plus it. So now you're up to $500, let's say. Okay, so now you're $500, and that's going to guarantee you, if Baltimore loses that next round, it's going to guarantee you a couple $100 profit. But then in the Super Bowl, you're going to have, if Baltimore makes the Super Bowl, you're going to be cut back to where you're going to make, half that. Half of $1,800. You're going to make $900 or $1,000. So all good problems to have. All good problems that you're only having to deal with if you listen to us early in the year and you bet Baltimore to win the Super Bowl. But there are two different ways to approach. So all you need to decide is, am I going to be okay in a couple weeks putting out $200 this week, $500 next week, and whatever that's going to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
$1,000 in the Super Bowl. So it's going to be $1,600 to win 18. So you're basically going to be breaking it, but you're going to make a little bit of money either way if Baltimore gets it across the finish line. You'll be able to adjust that a little bit to where the worst you do would be if Baltimore wins, you'd make $500 or $600. It's on a $100 bet, $500 or $600. If they lose in the game, you'd make $500 or $600. But you will have guaranteed yourself, based on that one good decision you made back in August, to make at least $500 or $600. Period. You're going to make money. So decide that, either money line it and bet less, or bet them plus the points, and hopefully you can hit both. That's what I'm going to try to do, because I think that Baltimore, people ask, what do you think about Baltimore now? I don't think Baltimore's going to win the Super Bowl now. I think they can. But generally speaking, and history will tell us, Brandon, that number one seeds from both conferences don't generally make it into the Super Bowl. This is a league of parity. And so there's going to be an upset or two. And San Francisco and Baltimore probably are not playing each other in the Super Bowl. One of them,
even though the conspiracy theorists will have you believe that that's been what the script has been since the Super Bowl logo was announced, because it has the 49ers colors and the Ravens colors prominently featured in the display.
Yeah, conspiracy theorists are working at Burger King, making my Whoppers with cheese, or putting my double Whopper on a pretzel bun. All right, that's what they're doing right now, because they are not winning gamblers. There's not enough money in the world to pay off either of the officials that can't 100% control games. They can help, probably. Certainly can help in basketball. And they can help in football, but they can't guarantee it, no matter what. And there are not enough players to pay off. If you, for some reason, I don't even know why they would benefit from that matchup. Why wouldn't they want the Dallas Cowboys in that game? I mean, if they were going to rig something, wouldn't they rig it for who would it be? It'd be Philadelphia or Dallas or a New York team.
Mm-hmm. Major market.
Major markets, major following. Their international brand will explode if they could get Dallas to that game. You ever been to Mexico? Mm-hmm. Dallas, there's Dallas stuff everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
I mean, they're looking for if they're looking for expansion and exposure of the league, which I guess is why you would rig stuff. It's just such a stupid premise. I hate to spend any time on it. We only get an hour on the show. It's such a stupid idea. Derived by losing gamblers that need to feel better about why they can't bet and win on sports. That's all that is. It's nothing else. So
Houston's the play if you're hedging out of the Baltimore pick,
which is an intriguing matchup, Brandon. We just talked about Houston in the first segment. Houston versus Baltimore. Listen, Houston can win. Houston's hot.
Sure.
They're very hot on both sides of the ball, and they don't even know what they don't know. All the pressure, like we saw with the Cowboy game against the Packers, all the pressure's on Baltimore, all the pressure's on San Francisco. Both of these number one seeds can lose this week. Green Bay, 9.5-point underdog, total of 50 to San Francisco. I see why it's that number, but you know what? It was 7.5 against Dallas for the better part of the week, and that game was never in doubt. And so you've got a quarterback that is not a great player. I don't care what anybody says, in Brock Purdy. And we saw what happened last year against Philly when he can get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So people can get hurt and get injured. This Green Bay team certainly riding high right now. And as everybody says, like they've ever played with house money. They keep saying he's playing with house money. He is playing with house money. Most people saying playing house money have never played with house money. So, but they are.
That's fair.
They are playing with house money, and they are playing a game they cannot lose. This is a team that's at least a year or two away from being in this exact spot. But, Brandon, we've seen this before.
Sure.
Teams that are just Cincinnati comes first to mind. A team that a few years before people thought they were ready just got hot at the right time, and they didn't care who didn't believe. They believed, and they got it done. So
the year that the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, Jack, there were people in Week 5 that were wanting to fire Zach Taylor as their head coach, and then all of a sudden they got hot. They turned it around. Packers, I'm sure, were in that same boat. They started 2-5, I think, because again, rookie quarterback, really a bunch of young receivers. They're the second youngest team in the NFL. Right? I mean, they basically threw a perfect game last week against Cowboys.
But
Are they going to do that again this weekend against San Francisco?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I mean, they might not. Yes, they threw a perfect game. And we saw this in the national championship game. We saw Washington go out against Texas and do exactly everything they needed to do, turn around when they went up a competition against Michigan, and did not play a perfect game, did not hit those throws down the field, which we talked about that before the game. So, obviously, there's a better chance that they're going to drop back and not play the perfect game, not get the big lead early. That's the deal about Dallas. You've got to get the lead early, put pressure on them. Similar thing here. Although San Francisco has a ton more ways to come back, a ton more ways to get back in the game if they happen to turn it over early, get a scoop and score, something like that. They're not as dead in the water as what Dallas is. Dallas is one, we talked about this before, one CeeDee Lamb and then everybody else.
Yep.
They're not much of a running game. Defense is good, but needed to get you in a predictable down and distance, and we saw they weren't able to do any of that. San Francisco, much more balanced.
A much more competent offensive play caller.
Exactly, and all the way around. Coaching staff, you're going to get out-coached this game most likely. You were probably not, as a Green Bay fan, going to get out-coached last week. Now, I'm not saying you're going to lose. I actually had people text me before the game and say, I don't know why you didn't release Green Bay. They're going to win by 50. And they were right. Of course, they live in Madison and Milwaukee.
Right.
And
they've got zip codes that start with a 5. Yeah.
Yeah, like talking to a Sooner fan when they're playing OSU or Texas. I mean, you could try releasing the other side of that game. Those guys are like, what's he talking about? He doesn't know anything. I'm going to go get me some moonshine and watch the Sooners roll. So that happens. But, yeah, this is definitely a spot where Green Bay can win, but they're almost a double-digit underdog for a reason. A lot of people have played San Francisco in the past, and they have not had an answer for what San Francisco was able to primarily do defensively, but also offensively, just not get enough stops. So, what are your thoughts on that? Green Bay able to put something together to at least keep it inside the number?
I would think early because, again, 49ers off a bye, and they did not play a lot of the starters in week 18. So some of these guys have not had sort of the live action reps to kind of keep them sharp. And we see it every year. There's a team that gets hot late in the year, pulls off a win in the first round of the playoffs, then all of a sudden becomes the Cinderella story. I would think Green Bay will at least hold them for a while, but I feel it is a coaching mismatch. It is a talent mismatch. Playing on the road obviously didn't scare them last week, but it would not shock me to see the Packers be in this game at halftime before San Francisco pulls away.
Yeah, I don't think this game is close. I say it's not close if San Francisco wins. I think Green Bay either wins or they get blown out.
So they win by a late field goal or they lose by 25.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's a late field goal. I could see them winning by a touchdown or more. I don't. If they do what they did last week and get half of the breaks, they don't even need all the breaks, just half of the breaks that Green Bay got last week against. They don't need pick sixes every time Dak Prescott drops back to pass. They don't have to have that to beat San Francisco. They're closer than that right now. They're going to need to win the turnover battle, maybe win time of possession. They're going to need some breaks, but I could see them winning by 7 to 10 points. I really could. I could also get them losing by 21. If they don't get the breaks and worst case scenario, they turn the ball over a couple of times, I think this game could get out of hand. San Francisco's the type of team, especially defensively, that will make you look foolish offensively if you are in a predictable down and distance. So if San Fran gets the lead and Jordan Love has to drop back and make some of these throws he's been making. They were very good against, not only against Dallas, but against a lot of the teams where they had a lot of success. Detroit going back to, I think, Thanksgiving. And on, they've been real imaginative on early downs. That works really well when the game's close or when you're winning, because they're going to expect you to run it. And one thing Green Bay's coaching staff has done is a little bit like what Andy Reid has done. They have put enough trust in their offense and in their quarterback play to say, you know what, we're going to be okay throwing on early downs. Detroit's done the same thing. Detroit has basically said, listen, if we're going to win, we have to trust our guy.
Yep.
And they're running play action early. Jordan Love, although he looks like he's closing his eyes and throwing it to nobody, is hitting guys in stride. And so that may continue. And if that does continue and they keep San Francisco off balance, they have a chance to win. If not, it might be a long road for Green Bay, because I think San Francisco is really dangerous when they get the lead against you. So FatJackSports.com, if you don't want to have to guess, as I said, start out the playoffs undefeated. Really good start. Go look at the results page. You'll see all the games, and that's one thing the guy that just called asked, where, can I see the results? What about last year? Dude, they're all posted. Everything is posted. Go to the results tab. Go to FatJackSports.com. Top right-hand corner says results. Go down to 23-24 football. Click on it and look at the results. Big letters, playoffs. And then you'll see the results. Every game that we've released to every single client is posted and documented there. Better yet, go to 2022-2023 playoffs and see how that run continued a year ago this time and how much money people made in the month of January simply by being signed up. And then go look at the basketball tab, look at the results. You'll see we are up 40 games plus over the last 6 or 7 weeks and counting. Everything's going great. The only way you will not win betting or getting our plays is not getting our plays. So go to FatJackSports.com. Sign up today. Hey, this is the Fat Jack. Another week in the books, and what a great one it was. We start out undefeated in the NFL playoffs, and more are coming this week. Basketball wins again last week, going 7-1 over the weekend. Go to FatJackSports.com. You don't have to believe what I say. Go to our results tab and look for yourself. Everybody gets the same plays, and they are making people money each and every week. The plays are emailed to you, and they'll make you money this week for as low as $149 or add hoops and win at FatJackSports.com. FatJackSports.com.
Hey guys, this is the Fat Jack. Are you finally ready to get a better plan betting the games this year? Let me help. Go to FatJackSports.com, where we understand that it's not the gambling she hates, it's the losing. FatJackSports.com.
Welcome back to the Fat Jack Sports Hour, and for the final time this week, here is our host gazing into the future. He is the Fat Jack.
Thank you, Brandon, so much. Fat Jack Sports Hour, segment number 3, getting people signed up, ready to win for the divisional round of the playoffs. Go get signed up right now and win this weekend and win all year long for the better prices. By the way, do you have Peacock? Did you get Peacock? You watched the game last week?
Jamie actually already had it. So we went out with some friends to watch the early game, and then came home to watch the game on Peacock. So luckily I didn't have to worry about any kind of signups. Did you actually reestablish a subscription to Peacock?
Absolutely not. But what I did do, which was so funny, because I'd paid, those you didn't listen last week, I had paid for like 6 services. My kids had signed up. They wouldn't give me my money back. I'd banned Peacock. What was so funny is, even though they kept signing up, I guess we get it free with the, it's not Grubhub. What's the one where they bring Instacart? Instacart Premium, which my wife has. Instacart Premium, you get free. So we were paying for 5 or 6 subscriptions with Peacock, even though I get it free.
For free. Oh, jeez.
Through my premium subscription with Instacart, which we have to have because Karen course, cooks on TV and whatever. So she figured out we still had it, did watch it. Of course, had under in that game, which was an easy winner as well. If you're watching Beat the Odds, which it runs down here in Florida, so I actually watched last week. It's a pretty good show. I'm 15-4 on my top plays on that show, including under in that Kansas City game. So if you're not out there, by the way, the new website will have the most up-to-date radio show and TV show on the website. All you got to do is go there, click on play, and you can download it from there and listen at your leisure. But yeah, super, super profitable. We'll have another one going this weekend. Go to beattheoddstv.com to watch that TV show that I'm on nationally and get signed up today. Push-ups, Brandon, I tell you what, it is like chasing a rabbit. I feel like a greyhound because I travel. We didn't even get into my travel story. I had a horrible travel story getting to Florida. We pulled off the tarmac twice. They couldn't get the engine started twice, and this was on a red eye. And after I'd already had the initial flight canceled with American sucks, that I was going to miss my connection. Then JetBlue couldn't get the engine started. So I got the airport 2 o'clock on Thursday. I didn't fly out until 9 a.m. Friday morning.
Oh, God.
And got into Florida at 8 p.m. Friday night. I mean, it was miserable. Another reason why I should just get a plane and forget about it. But during all that, what was that? What was the point I was talking about? Push-ups. Yes, you can't do push-ups unless you're that idiot at the airport doing push-ups in the airport. So I'm behind. I caught up. And I'd done 9 on the 9th, a 10th on the 10th. But I get to that day now, I mean, stakes are higher. It's a 10. Now the next day I got a 21 bagger coming. And I had no sleep, so I slept all day. Now I got 32 to do. I'm behind. I'm going to get it caught up because my push-ups are getting better. I mean, like I was able to knock out 10 in one sitting a couple of days ago.
Just drop, give me 10, and then go about your day.
I'm on the 12th, 13th. Wow, God, I'm like 50 push-ups. Yeah, so I'm going to get caught up. I'm not giving up yet. But as soon as we're off this show during this game, I'm going to do at least 10 or 20 push-ups to try to get that number down. But yeah, I'm not giving up. I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger just yet, but we're heading the right direction.
Atta kid.
FatJackSports.com. Get signed up today. Brandon, final thoughts? How are we doing on time? We're out.
We got just maybe about a minute left here. Heading into the divisional round, Houston at 17-1, Packers 22-1. Any chance at a late flyer? Because as you said, there's not a lot of value with the 49ers, not a lot of value with the Ravens at this point. Is there any value in taking any of those teams and maybe getting them just to hedge out of them?
Here's how you take care of that. All right. This is how sharp players do it this round and general public players do not. This is the best information I've given. Play them on the money line this week alone. So play $50 or $100 or whatever just on the money line on this week. If they win, you roll that over into next week, and you will make more money if you'll roll and then roll again than you will to 17-1. You're going to make long shot money this week, and next week that long shot money is going to be even more because they're going to be playing good teams again. And that also allows you don't have to hedge out. If they lose, it's just like losing anyway.
Just losing the bet, right?
And you have an opportunity if you win this week to back that bet up. And so you want to do less next week, you'll be able to bet instead of the 500 or 600 you might win for them winning this week, you can go to 200 next week. Money line them. They're going to be underdogs again next week. That's how you handle that. That's how sharp players handle those long shots, especially as we get deeper into the playoffs. Nice. Another reason to listen to the show, another way to make money. Guys, get signed up at FatJackSports.com. Stop paying your man. Wager responsibly. Don't drink and drive until next week when we are at a conference championship weekend. Big, big time of year. You've been listening to the Fat Jack. For Brandon and Fat Jack, you've been listening to the Fat Jack Sports Hour.
Fantastic.
Hey guys, this is the Fat Jack. Are you finally ready to get a better plan betting the games this year? Let me help. Go to FatJackSports.com where we understand that it's not the gambling she hates, it's the losing. FatJackSports.com.